From Wayne Gretzky to Teemu Selanne to Mario Lemieux, Jofa was everywhere in hockey. But then it seemed like they disappeared overnight. What happened? Let's break it down. Jofa began in 1926 in Malung, Sweden, originally producing leather goods and cold weather equipment. As winter sports exploded in Scandinavia, Jofa shifted toward protective gear. Having a background in leather goods as well as developing plastics, it was a natural fit for them to start making hockey equipment. By the 1950s and 60s, Jofa's gear was already recognizable for its clean design, ergonomic shaping, and surprisingly advanced materials for this era. Their early hockey helmets, lightweight, rounded, and sleek, set the foundation for a design philosophy they'd become famous for. In 1973, Finnish sporting goods giant Karhu acquired Jofa. Karhu already owned Koho, meaning two major protective gear innovators were suddenly under the same umbrella. This Karhu-Koho-Jofa connection explains why the brands often shared similar plastics, similar fitting philosophies, European-style ergonomics, and shared R&D pipelines. This corporate structure remained intact for decades, even as ownership labels changed. Over time, Karhu reorganized its hockey holdings, eventually being purchased by SLM Holdings and merging them into the Hockey Company, the parent group that also held CCM, Titan, Canadian, Heaton, and Koho. By the late 90s and early 2000s, Jofa protective gear and helmets flowed through the Hockey Company's distribution network. Jofa remained a European market powerhouse, but NHL players continued to use their helmets and classic pads due to the fit and comfort. They were the number one choice for protective equipment in the NHL for many years. In 2004, Reebok bought the Hockey Company, gaining full control of CCM, Koho, and Jofa. From this point forward, the Jofa name was phased out at retail. Their protective gear architecture was absorbed into the new Reebok and later CCM lines. Their helmet molds remained available only through pro custom channels. This is the moment where Jofa, the brand, effectively ended, but the technology stayed alive. Jofa's biggest legacy? JDP, or Joint Discharge Principle. JDP was engineered to redirect impact energy away from the joint and into surrounding padding. Instead of absorbing a hit directly to a point, like the elbow, the cap spread it outward. This was innovative because it reduced stingers, minimized swelling, protected tendons and ligaments, and it improved mobility compared to the bulky North American pads of the time. JDP became one of the most copied designs in hockey equipment history. In 2025, CCM still markets the JDP system, and you'll see the acronym engraved, molded, or printed directly on the caps. It's a quiet but unmistakable tribute to the Jofa engineering. Even CCM's modern protective lineup still uses Jofa's anatomical pad shaping, their split cap layouts, their low-profile elbow fit, and their scallop shoulder pad designs. It's some of the most enduring protective tech DNA in hockey. Jofa helmets earned a near cult-like following among pros for a few specific reasons. Jofa produced the most natural-feeling helmets of their era. Players described them as barely there, like a true extension of their head. The 235, 390, and 282 series helmets felt feather-like compared to North American models. And a big thing was that Jofa helmets breathed better than anything else on the market. The shape and feel of the helmet was so good that players such as Teemu Selanne and Wayne Gretzky all kept wearing Jofa long after other brands had moved on. Even as pros were paid to promote new gear, they would quietly request their grandfathered Jofa shells. A few of the iconic helmet models were the Jofa 235, the Jofa 282, and the Jofa 366 or 390. These models became memes, cult relics, and eBay treasures. By the late 2000s, Reebok prioritized CCM branding, and Jofa products disappeared from catalogs. Pro stock shells were produced only in very limited quantities. The iconic logo faded from the NHL. Today's players still wear JDP without even knowing the origin, the Scandinavian brainchild of Jofa engineers from decades ago. Today, Jofa's gone, but it's certainly not forgotten. Today, CCM uses Jofa as a retro clothing logo and on some road hockey sticks. So if you still want to rep Jofa, check out your local CCM dealer. If you liked this deep dive into hockey history, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe.